Hello and welcome to another of my low budget meals for college students and anybody on a budget, of course. This one is probably another one that's really aimed towards college students because it's another ramen noodle recipe. And what I've got here is some onion, I've got some celery. This is just a celery stick that I chopped up. I've got me a can of carrots right here. My ever-present garlic. I've got some of the hot sauce I like. I got me this little pack of hamburger here. Got me the water and beef ramen noodles. Okay, so this one is going to take a little bit of prep on it. So I'm going to go ahead and get the veggies in the pot here. Okay, and hold on just 1 second. Come on, cooperate. Get a nice little spoon of garlic in there. If you've been watching my other videos and you're thinking, this dude likes garlic, yes I do. So that's what we got in there right now. So I'm going to go ahead and set the camera down and go get this on the stove right quick. Okay, so we'll get that sizzling away a bit. And guess while that's going on, I'll just chit-chat a little bit. Latest episode in the Crazy Drug Lady saga with the lady my mom and I live with. It's kind of an addict. Not 100% sure on what, but she got another one of her little visits night before last. And so yeah, she was in the bathroom for like 5 hours yesterday, which is something that always happens every time she gets one of her deliveries that nobody's supposed to notice. Shuts herself up in the bathroom and runs water for like 4 or 5 hours at a time. Well, today something had been spilled on the bathroom carpet while she was in there yesterday, so she took it outside and was going to sweep it off. She goes outside, and I haven't really talked about my mom much. My mom is disabled, and she has her leg, she broke her leg a few years ago, then she re-broke it last Halloween. On Halloween, yeah. You can hear it sizzling away in the pan now. Just let that sizzle for a bit and get broken down a bit. So yeah, my mom re-broke her leg. Her femur right above the knee. She re-broke it last Halloween, on Halloween night. I ended up wheeling her down to the hospital because we don't live that far away from the hospital. I wheeled her down there in her wheelchair, and well, damn, yeah, we didn't know what had happened then. Damned if she hadn't re-broken it, and she had to have emergency surgery to fix that. She had already had a plate and a ton of screws put in to fix it the first time. This time they took all that stuff out. It took like 3 hours, I think, or 4 hours, 3 to 4 hour surgery. It was long because they had to take out all the hardware. They had to use a saw to cut out off the plate from some of the screws. They had to use a drill with a diamond bit to drill out some of the old screws, and then they put this spike thing clear up through her bone, a nail they called it. So for the last few months, been trying to get this bone to heal up properly, and it's not healing. So tomorrow, actually, Monday, the 8th of September, my mom is going to have to go in to have another surgery on her damn leg to, they're going to shave off some of the bone, try and burr it, I think is what they call it, sand it down, I guess. Um, Realign it, try and get it lined up properly, put a bone graft on there, and then put a new plate and screws on it, trying to get it to heal up, because my mom got disability on arthritis in her knees and back, and for depression as well, I believe. Who wouldn't be? Because she had been fired from her job that she had had for like 25 years. She worked her way up from being a cook to being a manager, and then she got fired. I don't want to go into all that again. It's painful memories. But, yeah, so, she's been wanting to get her knee replacements put in for ages, and then she broke her leg, and that's kind of put the kibosh on the whole thing. So now she really wants to get it done, since she's been going to see people, the bone specialists, the surgeons, so much, but because the bone's not healing up, they can't do it. The only option would be to completely cut out the top of her knee, the top of her femur, and replace that whole thing, but that's something they don't like to do in people my mom's age. She's just going to be turning 60. That's a surgery they would normally only do. It's called a tumor prosthesis, because that's all they would use it for, is either somebody who's had a tumor on their bone that had to be removed, or in like an 85-year-old woman, or person, I should say, that isn't going to be up doing much anything. Hold on a second, I need to go put the hamburger in now with the water, because the way you want to do this is you want to boil the hamburger and let all that flavor get into the water before you put the noodles in. That's an important part of this recipe, is you want that flavor getting into the noodles. Okay, so you want this in the water boiling and letting, this fall apart in the water and letting all the flavor from the fat and everything. This is lean hamburger. Okay, getting into that water, so I'll be right back. Alrighty, so now what am I going to focus this on? I guess it'll be on the hot sauce and the garlic, because I don't really want to point it around at me right now. I don't have a shirt on or anything. I guess that's no biggie. Hello. So yeah, so my mom's going to be going in to have the surgery done, and yeah, that's going to be fun to deal with again, because she's not going to be able to walk on that leg, put any weight on that leg for 3 months, at least. And, of course, during all this time, we have to deal with a crazy drug lady. And the fact that we live in an apartment that you have to go up steps to get into, which complicates things dramatically. That's real great, having to deal with that. I'm always afraid she's going to fall. Always. Fall down those goddamn steps. Anyway, so very stressful right now, but I'm still wanting to do these videos for you guys. But anyway, I guess what got me started on this whole thing is what druggie in there did today. So she, like I was saying, she went out on the porch to sweep this thing off. My mom is in the front room. That's why I was filling you in on the backstory of what happened to her, so you know why she's in the front room. She sleeps out there because she doesn't have anywhere else she can sleep that's comfortable during the summer, especially because the back bedroom I usually use, has no AC. I just have a fan. It gets real hot back there because this is a brick building. It's an old brick building, so it turns into an oven during the summer. And drug lady in there, proceeded to go out on the porch. My mom saw her go out there telling my mom what she's going to be doing, sweeping this rug off, and then is just gone for 45 minutes. Just kind of disappears. So my mom thinks maybe she's gone upstairs to talk to one of our neighbors and gets a hold of her. Nope. So she comes back, and I'm trying to lay down because neither one of us sleep very well, have good sleep schedules that we can really keep to. I'm manic depressive, so sometimes I'm just up. Sometimes I'm just down. But so she comes in and she gets me up to go look for Nancy, the druggie, outside and see where she's wandered off to. So I'm outside wandering around trying to find her. Finally, I walking down the street, and she's in the next door yard, fenced-in yard for another apartment building, just kind of moseying along. So I yell at her, "What the hell are you doing?" She says, "Just walking." So yeah, apparently she's so out of it, she decided it was a good idea to just go off and start walking. So yeah, that's what we have to deal with when she gets loaded. Fun, fun, fun. Okay, so I think I've shown you pretty much everything you need to know for this recipe, and I've chatted at you enough. Basically, at this point, all you have to do is get the hamburger cooked, and then we put some black pepper in, we put some of the hot sauce in, we've already done the garlic, we'll put the carrots in because they're already cooked, we'll put those in with the seasoning and stuff, and then once all of it's nice and boiling and the hamburger's all cooked and everything's nice, tasty, that's when we'll stick in our ramen noodles here. And it just depends on how much you eat. I haven't eaten all day yet, and I'm kind of a big eater, so I'll probably finish off most, if not all, this by myself. I shouldn't, but I probably will. But yeah, that's my hamburger ramen recipe. I hope you liked it, and I'm sorry I bent your ears so much on this recipe, but that's part of the whole cooking thing, right? Is when you're sharing with people your recipe, you show them your recipe and you chit-chat for a bit. So yeah, it's pretty basic and straightforward recipe for ramen. But again, if you're a student, college student on a budget, you're just somebody, a bachelor or bachelorette out on your own, maybe not just somebody making a little bit of money, not making very much money. Maybe you got a family you got to feed, and you need a good recipe for lunchtime for your kids and yourself or whatnot. This is a good one because it doesn't require much hamburger. You saw that was just probably a quarter of a pound, maybe half a pound of hamburger. Oh, that reminds me of one of my tips I really want to give you, if you don't do this already. As long as you have freezer space, you wait until you can find hamburger on sale cheap, as cheap as you just find it on sale, and then you bring it home, and you do need like a box of storage bags, like just the smaller storage bags, not sandwich size, the quart size, and you divvy that hamburger up into like handful size chunks, and you'll probably get I usually get about 3 1/3 of a pound size chunks. So if I buy, usually I can find 3-pound packages of hamburger on sale. If I get one of those, I can usually get 7 to 9 portions out, which is more than enough for most meals. It just depends on what you're going to make. Obviously, it's not going to make a meatloaf, but I do a lot of soups, and I do a lot of rice dishes, and I do a lot of things that I can, just use that hamburger for the flavor and a little bit of protein to really enhance something that would otherwise be really bland. So, hear that bubbling away over there. Okay, so that's a really good tip for you when you're on a budget, is find hamburger on sale cheap, and then just, try and get as many good-sized chunks out of each out of a package as you possibly can. Because when you're on a tight budget, the reason I'm doing these videos, as I've said in the other ones, is because when you're on a tight budget, your meals can get really bland and depressing, So, just being able to throw a little chunk of hamburger into some soup or some, buy a jar of pasta and get a box of pasta or a jar of sauce and a box of pasta. Just being able to throw that little bit of hamburger in there can improve it so much and make it so much better, which helps you, get through a meal. It makes it more interesting and tasty. And also, spices are your friend. You know, these, it can be a little expensive to buy a bunch of them at once, but, black pepper, something like the minced garlic is always good. Just some hot sauce. You can get a good sized bottle of hot sauce like that for about $3, $4, $5 or something. Cumin is a great spice. Poultry seasoning is great for anything you do with like chicken and turkey. You can even just sprinkle it on lunch meat, or put it in some mayonnaise and smear that on your lunch meat sandwich. Paprika is a good one. Mustard, powder is a good one. You can do lots with mustard powder. Some cracked red pepper is a really good one to add heat to pastas and stuff. So seasonings are your best buddy, and canned vegetables too, because if you're on a tight budget, raw vegetables can be expensive, so canned is usually a good way to go. You can usually get especially if you can find it on sale, you can get whole flats of canned vegetables cheap. Celery is usually one you can get pretty cheap. You can usually find carrots pretty cheap. Broccoli and cauliflower, not broccoli, cauliflower sometimes you can get real cheap. Cabbage is a good one. Cabbage you can usually find pretty cheap if you'll eat cabbage. I like cabbage, but not everybody does. So, it's just a matter of looking to see what you can find. Try and compare prices on everything. Don't just buy a name brand. Look for, compare your prices. And when you buy ground up hamburger, portion it out. Just enough to make a meal, to jazz up a meal. Or, make individual hamburger patties and wrap them in foil and stick them in the freezer. Okay, they'll keep a long time, and that way you can just take it out, throw it in a pan, cook it, and you got a hamburger. Okay, lots of little tricks like that you can use to stretch out hamburger. So, damn, this has gone on this long. Wow. Okay, I'm sorry this one's taken so long, but tips and tricks and stuff, and this is a good recipe. So, and I felt like chatting with you or at you. So, thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.